Welcome back to the podcast. It's good to have you guys here. We're going to be talking about something special today, right? I love to just start the podcast off by saying that there is no scripts, right? So I want to keep this as raw and genuine as I possibly can. Guys, we're in the mode of transmutation. A lot of people are waking up. And what does that even mean? People talk about it a lot, about awareness, about perspective, about consciousness, about their awakening. And what we come to discover is that perspective and consciousness flows through us, inside of us. We are part of a source, a life force, and we are powerful beyond measure. And I know that maybe you're listening to this video and you're looking at me on the screen. He's like, what is this guy talking about? How could I possibly be powerful beyond measure when I'm struggling with these worldly things? When I have these limiting thoughts in my head, maybe my body feels like shit right now. And as I look and I feel, you may not resonate with those statements, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you agree with me in this video. I am telling you that you are powerful beyond measure. And on this channel and in this video, we're going to cover some points to help you recognize this, give you some foundational principles to help you take your energy and your perspective to the next level. So, if I had to start from ground zero, everything that I got up until this point, I would give you some fundamental principles that if you lock this in now, in a matter of a year, even less, but you compound it 5 years, 10 years, getting in shape and being healthy and living a great life with great perspective is not something that you do in one day or 1 week or 1 month. This is year after year thriving. So, if I had to give advice to myself, I would say this: keep training your body. I would say train your body 3 times a week minimum. This can be body weight, kettlebell, gym. You need muscle. Very clear. And muscle is directly correlated to how your metabolism is going to function, your overall capacity in whatever work that you do, your ability to age well, to keep your bones dense and strong. If you do not train your body, you're setting yourself up for failure. You really are. And I see so many people around just sick, struggling, can barely walk, get off the couch, get off the floor. And it's like, you don't want to live that life. So first things first, you need the foundations of overall health. And if you can't do that, well, you're leaving so much on the table. And it's just the way it is, you know. I used to get real frustrated with people, but then I started to recognize that, you know what? No. Everybody came down here to live a certain experience. Some of these people early on were taught, were role modeled to, they had this normality of eating certain foods, certain fast foods, certain ratios. And so everybody around them was overweight. They were frustrated because food also has a direct correlation to your energy and your emotions. And so it became normal. But then somewhere along the line, that person was looking around, maybe feeling their own body and saying, I don't want to fucking do this anymore. I don't want to feel this way. I don't want to look this way. And it's important that you don't get bamboozled by social media, by these trends, by all these supplements, all these quote unquote fat burners. It's important that you just get raw and real. Your body needs to be trained. You need to develop muscle. And you start with the foundations. If you can do that, Okay, now we have something to build on. 2, food. Oh my goodness. Early on, as I was seeing so much chronic illness run through family and friends and strangers, I knew that I didn't want to do that. That I didn't want to repeat that cycle. And so I started to learn about food. I was about 12 years old when I got this packet. And this packet had fundamental principles on health. And it had what carbs, fats, proteins are, macronutrients, and even micronutrients, the vitamins within those. And I started to see that there are levels to this. I started to see the difference between simple carbohydrates and complex carbohydrates. One of the major differences being that a complex carbohydrate won't spike your blood sugar. And so we're getting into blood sugar and insulin responses. A simple carbohydrate is going to spike the blood sugar because it's made of simple sugars, carbohydrates, simple carbohydrates. It's a quick source of energy. Now, there is a difference between eating a banana and eating just you know, uh, just table sugar. The banana has some vitamins. It has some natural things in it, while the table sugar is manufactured, right? And so that clear distinction right there can already cut your chronic illness, your fat gain, your addiction to the quick fix, the quick sugars. Guys, you don't just love sugar because like, you love that. It's like your whole body is designed like it fires up. Physiologically, our bodies, when we eat these simple sugars, is like, oh man, when's the next one? And because it's so quick, you want that spike. The body craves that spike. But the thing is, whenever you eat something like a big meal with simple carbohydrates, sugar, it's going to spike. And in order for your blood sugar to get back to normal, a normal state, your insulin in the body must be secreted, right? And so when it's secreted, it brings it back down. But you see, if you play this game inside of your body, inside of the biochemistry, eventually your body will stop working for you. It's struggling and it's rotting from the inside out. And then eventually, since your body can't produce no more insulin, it can't metabolize all that sugar that you've been pumping into it, it begins to shut down. And now that's when we start leading into the development of chronic illnesses, the development of pharmaceuticals to manage this, right? Different injections like Ozempic that honestly is killing people very slowly. It's shutting down their bodies, making them dependent. And this just leads to a cascade of events that makes your life difficult. Like, and why the fuck would you want to live that life? And I would say this. It's important not to shame yourself into progress. It's important not to beat yourself up there, but recognize like you're here to thrive and you can. You're here to feel better and you can. You're here to just to live a good life, right? And you can. Something as simple as identifying the simple carbs versus the complex carbs is going to take your health to the next level. And 3, man, awareness. If we're not aware of the fact that something needs to change, aware of the fact of the problems, aware of the fact of these cycles, aware of ourselves and our own emotions, right? Like that is literally the biggest determinant in this life, whether or not you're able to, transform your life for the better or not, or if you're just going to repeat the same cycles, the same loops. And people do it all the time. It's unfortunate, but it's real. And if you want to break those loops, you have to add more awareness and perspective into your life. And how do you do that? Breathwork meditation. Breathwork meditation, guys. I lived through an experience where I was just grinding, go, 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 right? No moment for self reflection, for internal space, internal expansion. And it wasn't until I discovered and went through my first journaling and meditation class course that I recognized that there was so much inside, that I recognized that I could stop and slow down time, right? At least the perception of it. And what I began to focus on is that we have this ability to focus. And where your focus goes, energy flows. And it's as simple as this: if I spend lots of time with this mind and focus that carries energy, focused on the problems and these loops that don't serve me, and spinning around drama, gossiping, this, that, that's the kind of energy that I'm going to connect with. That's the kind of energy that I'm going to transmit and receive. But you see, on the other side of it, if I start to focus on very expansive things, growth mindset, evolution, consciousness, awareness, peace, strength, vitality, if I start to have these conversations of just overall growth, then that's also the energy that I'm going to be connecting with. So it's important. It's important how you focus, what you focus on, what you eat, how you move. These are the foundations. The foundations that are going to rip you away from that old life. And I say rip because it's true. Like you can't just tiptoe in it. You have to recognize that there is a serious problem. If you're struggling with your health, there's a serious problem with what you're putting into your body, with how you're thinking and how you're moving. And when you combine all these things in a foundation, which I've done, we have our 90-day curriculum program that is guiding through the people and giving them the foundation that they have always needed, the support and the clarity that they have always needed along this journey. They have direct access to me and another breathwork and spiritual practitioner, and we just guide you guys through the process. Healthcare looks different. And you're going to have to accept that unless you want to just repeat the same model of taking the pharmacy in order to fix your problems. Stop looking outside and start looking inside, and your life will change. And it's interesting. It's like we don't need to wait for the exterior. Don't wait for it to just happen. When you begin to change and you begin to alchemize and you begin to breathe in more awareness, more clarity, breathe in more life, more energy. When you begin to eat food that's alive, right? If you can start switching your fuel from simple carbs to complex carbs, get your healthy fats, get away from the high processed oils and get to cold pressed olive oil, coconut oil, and even avocado oil, and get away from those seed oils, you're going to begin to also lower inflammation. If you can get yourself, eat nuts, eat avocados, get your healthy meats, start getting away from those heavy sausages and bacons, and get lighter and lighter until you gravitate towards, poultry and seafood and, even plant proteins. When you begin to clean the vessel and you begin to align it, your mind will completely transform. And that's what's so powerful. It's like you got to recognize that it's not just about the physical transformation. And if you can do that, good things are going to come. God bless. Thank you guys for tuning in to another video, another podcast. We're going to be here. We're going to be transmitting, broadcasting. And until the next time, wake up. Don't be asleep. Don't play small. Don't make yourself sick. Rise up. It's the only way. God bless. Peace.